And welcome everybody. Mission Simplified with low-code application development automation. We are going to show you today how one US federal agency went from 60 days to 30 minutes using ServiceNow's Creator Workflows app engine. This is not Stephen Locke Campbell from the USDA. Stephen, our customer, had a last-minute emergency, unable to attend. In his place is Travis Goodsell from Veracity Solution Consulting. Travis, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, thank you everybody. Yes, Travis Goodsell. I am a Director of Solutions Delivery with Veracity, and I also lead our ServiceNow practice. I have been overseeing this project from the inception, so I work with Stephen on a daily basis, and so I've seen the challenges that they've had as a group, and a lot of the success they've had as well, so hopefully I do Stephen proud.
Well, thanks for joining us, Travis. Last-minute notification. I'm Gregg Aldana. I lead the Creator Workflows Global Solution Consulting Organization at ServiceNow. Been here for about 6 years, but before that, I was sitting in your seat at Knowledge. I was a customer. I led all of the capital investment application development at the FDIC for about 7 years. And so it's kind of as a customer where I discovered App Engine during the last financial global crisis, where we needed to automate at scale, addressing the mission. So quickly, today, talk a little bit about how the workforce, the federal workforce, but the general workforce is changing. Talk a little bit about who the USDA is and a little bit more about their mission, how they started their low-code journey with App Engine, how they got here. Then I'm going to talk a little bit more about just the need for low-code and ServiceNow Creator Workflows in general, and then we'll finish off with the cost and the savings realized by the USDA. So let's jump right into it. In this new economy, the federal workforce has changed, but the global workforce has changed. We've seen a dramatic shift from people in physical offices and getting engaged to a distributed, a more digitized work environment. You know, we've gone from changes from automation just being for the IT group to automation being democratized and being empowered for everyone in the organization. We've shifted from a world of manual processes to really get the job done, we'll grind it out, to where companies are now looking at efficiency being everything. And finally, we've shifted from this model of people just being the labor force to just grind it out and produce, to people, to citizens, to business developers, becoming the innovation engine of every company today. So, look, there's been a lot of disruptions to all these digital imperatives during the last few years. Unprecedented disruptions, COVID-19, new ways of working, a hybrid workforce, shocks to the supply chain, so houses can't be built as fast. You can't get your Amazon packages as quickly. And really what we've seen through all of this is that this is the new normal. These aren't temporary changes. They're not going away. Hybrid work is the new way of working. Digital work is the new way of working. And so what we've seen really here is the need for 3 basic areas. The need for speed, right? You know, Top Gun 2 coming out next week. And we've just seen this ability to automate everything fast and transform all legacy processes quickly. Can't take weeks and months anymore. We need this in hours and days, and we saw this really at the beginning of the pandemic. But it's not just enough to just lift and shift bad processes and digitize them. Efficiency is everything. It's improving the process efficiency and the resiliency. If the pandemic and COVID-19 and the supply chain shock exposed anything, is that a lot of our business processes were not very resilient, and we found this out during the pandemic. And then finally, experience. Experience is key. And not just on customer experience. Yes, you want to create a great experience to bring in customers, but employee experience. And employees are now going to different jobs and different employers for digital experiences. So this has just become an essential way of working now in this new thriving workforce. So what's slowing down these 3 imperatives? First, speed. There's a shortage of tech skills and talent. There's not enough developers or people out there that can automate everything. The next area is there's legacies and there's silos. And we're going to talk about a bunch that existed at the USDA that are hurting. Legacy systems, siloed departments that won't work together. And they're affecting how agile companies can move. They can't just digitize stuff quickly. And then finally, the expectations for digital experiences have never been higher. Employees expect this. Customers expect this. What do you mean I have to fax something in? What do you mean I have to fill out a piece of paper? Employees are coming to the workforce with the expectation, my 15-year-old daughter, she's not going to fill out paperwork when she comes to a job. If she does, she'll probably go find a new employer. So there has never been more of a need in the expectations for your employees to digitize and create these great experiences fast. So how do we see organizations like the USDA adopting here? Choosing technologies like Creator Workflows App Engine to empower more technologists, empower more people that are closer to the business processes to automate alongside your IT professionals. We also see a giant consolidation of really modernizing a few core systems and taking all that technical debt and really centralizing on a few platform systems of action. And then finally, choosing technology that simplifies the technical delivery at scale. And so I think you've seen this slide a lot today, but I just want to clarify for everybody because I've been getting questions all day long. What is Creator Workflows? This is the first year I've heard about it. I wasn't here 3 years ago when I was here for Knowledge. Creator Workflows is really the encapsulation of our core platform, our workflows, our application development, our low and our ProCode, as well as our seamless integrations, both RPA as well as our integration hub. And we've taken that and given customers the ability to build their own custom applications in a way that no other technology can. And I often get asked by a lot of customers, is ServiceNow here to replace all the underlying technologies? Well, maybe. But really, ServiceNow is the very unique Creator Workflows. You can build application experiences across all of these underlying systems. Everybody's trying to create the Amazon, the Uber experience of the enterprise at your company, right? But what makes Amazon a great experience? It's not the UI. The UI is pretty dated. 2 clicks and the package is at my door tomorrow. But underneath that, there are fulfillment systems, shipping systems, inventory systems, finance systems. You're not exposed to any of that. But at work, you're exposed to all of that. If Amazon was a typical enterprise experience, it'd probably take you about 3.5 weeks to place an order. You'd have to go and search all those different departments. You'd have to do that manually. So ServiceNow's Creator Workflows is allowing companies to create these great experiences with its platform in a way that no one else can. And just finally, when you think about Creator Workflows from a product perspective, it's our app engine and it's our automation engine, which is our new kind of integration hub and RPA combined, as well as our document intelligence. And really what this is leading to nonstop innovation, what we're going to see at the USDA. So Travis, tell us a little bit more about the mission of the Warehouse and Commodity Management Division at the USDA.
Yeah, so this is their program portfolio. And there's several legislations and agreements that they go by. The very first one there is the United States Warehouse Act, as I like to refer to it as the FDIC of corn.
Resonates with me. So.
Yeah, so the commodity credit corporate storage agreements, those are related to cotton, textile mills. So there's just several areas, and these are all the portfolios that came into our project, and for me, it was pretty much what our scope would be.
So the Warehouse Commodity Management Division, it's basically all the regulation and the examination and the supervision of all the farming in the United States. And so being a former federal employee, I know there is no out-of-the-box solution that any company makes to address these problems. So tell me a little bit more about exactly where you started with the USDA and how bad this process was.
Yeah, this is definitely something to appreciate. So they always start with the warehouse contact, and it has an intake process for their licensing. And as you can see, these are like 5 to 10 days. The financial review is done through an MS Access database. There's paper that takes 1 to 2, so you've got the review and approval coming. Examination management, that actually can happen in person. And then they have a Delphi system that takes 15 to 30 days. So as you get through all these examinations, the license is issued, you have mail, everything is all separate, there's no integrated. So the total time for this, 60 days.
60 days to do a financial examination of a warehouse. That's insane.
Yes.
But I think just looking at this diagram, I think many of us can relate to this. There's tons of processes that look like this at each of our companies. So tell me a little bit more about the legacy systems that you inherited that you had to start with.
Yeah.
You know, that bottom layer there.
Yes. So as you can see, when all those programs came together, there was nothing that was integrated. So you can see there's a COBOL mainframe that hasn't been updated in 20 years. And then we have the Access database that you can see in there. And then you have high security risk with the warehouse examinations. They're on a shared network drive. Just a heavy reliance on mail. So this was definitely a challenge. Then how do I then bring this into the App Engine and integrate?
Absolutely. And one thing that I heard from the USDA was this is where their lack of resiliency was exposed during the pandemic. Limited availability. That means if you're working remotely, you could only do your job when the mainframe was up, and it wasn't up 24 hours a day. And so they needed to quickly pivot. These were where some of these problems were exposed. But having been, again, a former federal worker, how much paper was involved in this process?
A lot. This is this is a picture that we've had around on this program for quite a while. This really represents almost one entire warehouse or one process. In each one of those folders, there is same piece of paper. So whether it's the contact or whatever that would be, it's in each one of those. So it's a good representation of where they started at.
So, keeping with the theme of the conference, why don't you tell us a little bit more about how Veracity and how ServiceNow's App Engine help really make the world work better for the USDA?
Yeah, so we did start with the App Engine, and so we have the current workflow, and so when warehouse contact comes in, again, it's the same workflow, USW intake, they'll do a financial review, a chief review and approval, examination management, examination review, and then the license is issued. So these are all, as you've seen, those program portfolios are now all in one flow on the App Engine.
And how long does this take now?
30 minutes.
Wow. That is absolutely remarkable.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit more about really how this has just transformed the way and how transformative this has been to the USDA in the way they actually do their work now. Not paper, but actually interactive, low-code application development forms.
Yeah, so these are just a few of the forms we have built in the App Engine. So you have the license action, examination request, financial review, examinations. So again, this is all built on the App Engine. And one of the things that is really beneficial with this is, being in the federal government, your legislation can change and change our regulations. So having the App Engine, you have that easy customization that I can make changes on the fly as I get new legislation. So that's been very beneficial for our customer.
That's a good point. Yeah, as legislation is emerging and changing, you need a platform where you can make those changes very quickly. And obviously, there's a lot of managers that want a lot of reports.
Yes.
So did you guys have to go and write a lot of code to write reports or do a third-party reporting tool?
What's interesting is we haven't touched any of this reporting. We've been focused on the core workflow, and our customer has been able to do this by themselves right out of the box. Steven, who is supposed to be here today, is actually created a lot of these dashboards and reporting for all of the customers that he works with. And so it's been something where they can get instant information. A lot of times they use this to find out, where am I at in my examinations, how many do I have left, performance-wise.
So not only did it transform the way they actually do the work, but it's the way the work is actually supervised. And you start to see this hybrid here of professional developers, the integrator, as well as the citizen developer, the business developer, the distributed developer, the end users in USDA creating their own reports, working in combination. And that's very unique. We'll get into a little bit more of that in a minute. But I do want to give a little plug, or actually, I did want to ask, did you do this all at once?
I wish.
Yeah.
Obviously what we saw out there is there's quite a bit of scope as we're integrating all of their various systems. But one of the things is, we're in phase 4 right now, but one of the things I want to point out on phase 1, it just happened to come into a point where the pandemic hit. And we were fortunate enough with the flexibility that we can use with App Engine that we got them the core functionality to be where they could work from home remotely. Otherwise, they were going to be at the limitations of the mainframe, which is Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So phase 1 allowed them to work from home, and so the productivity can continue from there.
I think that's a really compelling point. At the beginning, they needed to make a remote access available very quickly, and they could have chosen any technology, but what is the federal government choosing? They're choosing App Engine. So they can do this very quickly. And obviously, the USDA didn't do this alone. They had a partner. We always say, don't try this at home. Take a good partner along for the ride. But really, why don't you just tell us, briefly just a little bit about Veracity and why you guys are using App Engine?
Yeah, so I have a little bit of bias about this slide. So when we started with this, I had some notes on here, sorry. I wanted to kind of give also kudos to our customer, the USDA. They have been an awesome customer to work with, and it is through them that we actually got into ServiceNow. And we built everything on the App Engine,
sure.
And that's what really got us to success. And as a federal partner as well, we see a lot of use with the App Engine with a lot of the federal agencies out there today.
That's fantastic, and it's just really great to see how the federal government is using App Engine for all of these mission use cases that there is no out-of-the-box product for. So I think we saw it, on Bill's slide this morning. 750 million new apps will be created in the next 3 years. There are not enough developers on planet Earth to meet this need. So if you take nothing else away about LowCode, it solves two basic problems. One, makes your existing professional developers way more productive. They have to write less code to build sophisticated applications. At the same time, you empower more developers. You branch this out to the business units, and people can now automate their own business processes. So those are the two things. That's why everybody is interested in LowCode. And really, if you're going to go along on this journey, there's a lot of tools out there, and there's a lot of technology that offers low-code development, build cool stuff quickly. But there's very few technologies like ServiceNow that are a leader in low-code application development, digital process automation, as well as enterprise service management. ServiceNow is the only technology that cuts across all these areas. So if you're going to standardize on a low-code platform, you need to take into account all of these areas. And really, something else that sets ServiceNow apart from other low-code development platforms, and I think we exemplify this here today, is that with a lot of low-code platforms or a lot of other platforms, you kind of have to make a choice. You're either going to go low-code, and you're going to stay in that low-code box, and you're going to be kind of limited to what you can and can't do there, or you're going to go ProCode, and you got to take on all the overhead and the expense and the time it takes. ServiceNow caters to all of these different development groups on one single platform. And very honestly, a lot of times we see, like at the USDA, a business analyst maybe just simply automating a request process, then passing it off to an LOB developer to add in a little JavaScript, and then maybe collaborating finally with their IT professional developer. In fact, professional developers are probably the biggest fans of our low-code platform because they can be so productive. If they want to extend it to mobile, they don't have to go out and hire an iOS developer. We have that available natively out of the box. But really, we took this to the next level by launching our App Engine Studio last year, and we just had the new release that we released last week or last month in San Diego. And really, this is where we've taken low-code application development to the next level and really created a very consumer-friendly, visually friendly, driven process that allows business units to develop applications, but also allows IT to set the guardrails so that you're not doing application development from scratch. You're starting from a template where maybe 30 or 40% of the application's already done. And now we just launched last month, you can build your own templates for your own business units and for applications you're building over and over again. And it's really accelerating the low-code delivery at scale. But the biggest area and the biggest announcement we have is App Engine Management Center. And this is really where ServiceNow has productized and brought to market something that no one else has, DevOps for citizen development. And out of the box, with this, you can have a pipeline view into setting up your own citizen development program where you can intake the application, the onboarding of developers, managing the collaboration tasks between IT developers and citizen developers, as well as managing the deployment tasks and all the pipeline monitoring. So Travis, bring us home here. Tell us about the results of all of this innovation for the USDA.
Yeah, and today this just puzzles me on how much they're saving on this. So just with their ServiceNow App Engine licenses, that is only 5% of the cost that they had with the mainframe licenses. They're looking at a payback period of 4 years. So yeah, it's the ROI on this has been very fast.
Pays for itself.
Yes,
Pays for itself very, very quickly here.
Yes.
But there are also some other indirect kind of cost paybacks as well.
Yeah, and if you've ever been into their office like I have, you get to see this firsthand. But I mean, just think of what they do as when they're doing manual process of paper. Amount of printing they do for the licenses, the contracts, postage, ink, filing time, risk of data loss, which is a very big one, and then rent itself. they need the space.
And these are often a lot of the overlooked cost savings when you are using low-code to automate and modernize business process, a lot of the indirect costs. So I know this had a big impact at USDA. I know there was a lot of accolades about this. Tell me really what was the final say from the administration and really how this impacted the USDA.
Yeah, just recently, annually, the USDA hands out AMS Administrators Award, and this project and this application received the AMS Administrators Award, and this is a quote from Mike Durando just about that. So very happy to see this, and like I said, USDA has been just a great partner for us, and we've had tremendous success with them.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I realize there's some future plans at the USDA they're looking to adopt. They're one of our first automation engine customers now, and they're going to be venturing into RPA and using some RPA bots to automate even more legacy processes and bring it to the workflow. So really excited to see where this goes. But I wanted to thank you for this, Travis, here, and I want to thank everybody for coming today. If you have any questions, approach me on the side here. But remember, low-code development meets the mission, and we're really excited about everything. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.